Good morning to the owner operators out there who are part of the 400 member Facebook group called How Much Money Do You Need to Move Your Truck? Especially if you are a new owner operator and you may need assistance in finding loads, managing loads, keeping your truck running. Consider the Exodus dispatching services. We are building a contingent and a group of independent freight dispatchers strategically placed all over the country to provide good paying loads and steady loads. That's the important thing for owner operators, particularly those new owner operators who are kind of having trouble just receiving their MC and DOT with the brokers not giving them an opportunity to run their loads because they haven't proven themselves with successful loads under any brokerages as of yet. Even if you are not a new owner operator and you just need assistance in finding loads or getting out of tough spots, things like that, consider the Exodus dispatching services through our Exodus Dispatching and Training website at www.exodusdispatchingandtraining.com. Once you get there, I'm sharing my screen, you will come up on our home page. From there, you will see carrier services. So under carrier services, we have two sublinks under there, the dispatcher agreement and the profile. So part of being a part of our service or receiving our services is that we need a dispatcher agreement and profile from you. Our fee is 10% for our services. So if you go there, you can click on carrier services and read about who we are, what we offer. The equipment types that we generally service are the 53-foot dry vans, the 48 to 53-foot flatbeds, and the 53-foot refrigerated trailers or the reefers. And we're starting to get into the power only. We have some power only brokers, some power only lanes that deals with load outs and towaways from the Illinois area down to the Texas area. Those lanes are pretty good. We also focus on getting carriers who are experienced or not new backhaul loads out of some tough spots. But with our dispatching services, we focus on not sending carriers to areas that we understand where the freight is going to be hard getting out. We also understand that the trucking industry, the transportation industry, in some instances, is kind of seasonal, and things starting to kick back in as far as the produce season. Different types of commodities are coming back around. So as a dispatching company and as a dispatcher, a load manager, a freight manager, by us understanding that, then we can kind of position ourselves and align ourselves with the better freight. If these things happen every year around the same time as far as seasons coming and seasons going, and we have an understanding of that, then it would make sense for an owner-operator carrier to have a dispatcher who understands the lanes and what they're doing and how they are doing it in order to keep them running. And we are mainly focusing on the beginner dispatchers and the beginner carriers, and those carriers, owner-operators with their MC and DOT who may be 5 years or less. The more experienced carriers may not need our services, and that's fine. But sometimes you have carriers who may get stuck in certain areas and may call up on our service, and then once they see that we may provide them with the proper assistance, they may decide to call upon us every now and then, or maybe even more consistently. But we focus on, again, the three main equipment types generally: the dry vans, flatbeds, and reefers. We're getting into power onlys, we're getting into straight trucks, and we're getting into hot shots. But as it stands now, our main focus are the target three main equipment types: van, flatbed, and reefers, because those are the ones that are out here the most. We try to target the load to truck ratios for each of those equipment types, and the national averages for the cents per mile. So what is it paying? So we send carriers to the areas where loads are paying good, and then we book those loads because we understand that carriers, you have to focus on driving. You have things that you need to worry about, understanding your all of the expenses that's involved in running your trucking company, because it is your trucking company. We are just here to provide assistance with your load management for a fee. That's basically what a dispatcher does. So we have a team that we're building to get on the same page and align ourselves with carriers who may need that assistance. So this PSA, this public service announcement, is mainly directed at those who are part of our Facebook group, How Much Money You Need to Move Your Truck. You joined this group for a reason. So if one of those reasons were to learn and understand and get assistance with moving your truck, then allow the Exodus Dispatching Services, dispatching team, dispatching network to assist you in that regard. Again, if you want to participate in that process or be a part of that, then simply go to www.exodusdispatchingandtraining.com. From the home page, again, you will click the carrier services. Under that, you will click the dispatcher agreement sublink. It is an online form where you fill it out online. It's real quick. You can do it while you're in your sleeper berth, waiting to be unloaded and loaded from your current load. Just go online, fill out the information, the name of your trucking company, your trucking information, what is your MCDOT, truck and trailer number. And the reason why this form is set up in this way, because as dispatchers, we understand that there are questions and things that the broker asks ahead of time. So if we align ourselves and get in front of that, then we'll have all the information that we need, and we won't have to waste time calling you and interrupting you while you're either driving, maybe even sleep during your reset, or getting loaded and unloaded. If we get all the information that we need up front from you, that makes our dispatching services a little bit more effective and efficient, and we can all work together. We get your base where you live mainly, so we can kind of plan out depending on how you want to run, your email, phone number. These are our conditions, the date that you submitted, and then our checkbox consent, which is saying if you allow us to do your carrier package and rate cons for you, sign your name on your behalf, of course. But of course, we'll go over that with you, so you the carrier package, you will agree to what's in there. Otherwise, we'll go back to the broker and iron out any discrepancies. The same thing with the rate cons. You may see a load or a load board that states a certain amount, and then on the rate con it's something different. Prior to signing that rate con and officially booking that load, sending it back to the broker, we will go over that with you and say, okay, these numbers don't match. What's the problem? What do you want? Let's go back to the broker before we sign and fix that. And then the other documents, we have the ability to upload. You choose to file those documents, of course, from you that we need as dispatchers to effectively do our jobs are a copy of your W-9, a copy of your MC authority letter, and a copy of your certificate of insurance, an updated policy. So, and then, of course, you sign. This is an online form, so you sign. I'll clear that, just showing you. And then hit submit. And then the Exodus Logistics Learning Center's dispatching services will get an email alert that you completed that, and we will process that in and start to get you moving on trying to find loads for you. And the same thing with under the carrier service, under carrier services, under carrier profile. It's the same online form. On the profile, we're just getting detailed information specific to your equipment type. What type of trailer do you have, whether it's a drive-in, flatbed, or a reefer? What weight limitations do you want to haul? Because not every carrier wants to haul their max weight, because we understand that fuel costs are high. So the less you haul, the less you burn. How much money do you need to move your truck? In other words, what's the least cents per mile you're willing to accept for a load? Depending on it, again, depending on the equipment type, there's a certain amount, $2 a mile, $2.50, $3 a mile. other information. What areas of the country do you try to avoid? Like some people don't like going through the tolls or in the mountain regions. They may want to stay east of the Rocky Mountains or east of the Appalachian Mountains, or between the Appalachians and Rockies. You might find some good loads there. Any special, instructions. If there's anything else you want your dispatcher to know, this will be a place to put that. And then again, you just sign and send that. So those are mainly the two forms that we need to get started. On the first one, again, the dispatcher agreement. In addition to the dispatcher agreement profile, within the dispatcher agreement form, we need copies of those, the W-9, the MC authority letter, and the certificate of insurance. That helps us we'll put that in the file for you, and then as we book loads with different brokers and shippers, we'll already have that information on file and won't have to interrupt you while you're driving, sleeping, being unloaded and loaded, or what have you, whether you're inside of the receiving or the shipper, dealing with lumpers, dealing with detention, things like that. So we want to have everything up front. So the purpose of the dispatcher for you is to have everything aligned properly and just focus on keeping you running. So if you are a part of this group and you express a need for a dispatcher or a need for the dispatching service to assist you, particularly if you are a new dispatcher, we have a list of brokers who are willing to work with owner-operators who have their MC authority less than a year, let's say, or less than 6 months old. They'll give you an opportunity, and we have information on that as well. So again, Exodus Dispatching Services, www.exodusdispatchingandtraining.com. That's the home page. On the website, from the home page, you just click over to the third link, which is Carrier Services. You click this link. Of course, under that is the two sublinks, Dispatcher Agreement and Profile, which is what we need to get started. Under the Carrier Services, this is our flyer. This is what we offer. It's pretty self-explanatory. There's a PDF that you can open up and look at the exact same thing. Load Management Service, Exodus Dispatching Services, Load Management, who we are, what we offer. We try to target the areas for your equipment type that provides the freight that you need to keep you running. We're beginning to understand that a little bit more thoroughly, so we try to align ourselves up with the same brokers who have the good paying freight. And that's under the presumption that you run a successful load for them, then of course they'll be willing to work with you over and over again. So let's say, for example, you have some freight you picked up in a shipper in the Midwest, and it's a good load, and it's going to an area, let's say over here in Texas, and that's a good run. So that lane is pretty good, it's paying. So then we will focus on, while you're under that load, finding you your next lane, coming maybe back to that money load, and or maybe a triangular thing going over to, let's say, Tifton, Georgia, which is a good place to pick up loads going back north. So if you have dispatchers who understand that concept, then maybe you can consider working with those dispatchers if you have a need for them, particularly if you are new, a new owner-operator. So www.exodusdispatchingandtraining.com. This is our Facebook group, How Much Money You Need to Move Your Truck. I will put this video into this group, so those 400 members will be able to see that and listen to me ask you about our services. We are building a sub-dispatcher agent team who all understand that process of keeping you running because they've been trained in the Dispatcher One-on-One Training for Beginners platform. They are members, so they have an understanding of how to keep you running. We go over strategies every week in our 2-day trainings, Sundays and Wednesdays, on how to understand what the carrier actually needs. There are former owner-operators, former carriers, so we understand. So, and then we see how the market fluctuates up and down with the seasons and without, inside and out of the seasonal commodity and the freight runs. So www.exodusdispatchingandtraining.com, under the Carrier Services, Dispatcher Agreement and Profile. Those are online forms. You click them online and fill them out, submit. We get alerted, and we can go from there. I look forward to hearing from you guys. Until then, talk to you later.